Barstool, late night, party on, excellent.
Okay, welcome to episode 2 of Barstool at Night. I'm Eddie with Carl here, our guest of the day for the second episode. He has a show that goes down in Barstool lore. I think it was the first late night show around here. He's also a longtime blogger. He goes by Barstool Nate from the DMV. Can we bring Nate on? Nate, how's it going?
Hey, boys. What happened to Dave? He dipped?
Dave's in the background. Dave comes on for trivia,
Okay.
So he'll be there later. That's the last segment of the show. Are you smarter than White Sox, Dave? Big day today, boys. Obviously, it's draft night. Nate, you're a Redskins fan. Congrats on Chase. You feeling good?
Dude, I've been pumping his tires since December, and I never thought we would trade the pick until maybe like a couple weeks ago when there started being rumors, but I stayed strong. I really wanted him, and we got him, and I've never felt better about a pick since the RG3 pick, ironically enough, who worked out for a year, but then, his knee exploded into 1,000 pieces. But no, it feels good. I feel like it's as close to a sure thing as you can get, and you don't get many of those in the NFL draft. Like, nobody really knows anything, but I think he's as close to his basement is better than most people's ceiling. So if he's like a 9 sack a year guy, it's like, well, he didn't meet expectations, but he's still a 9 sack a year guy. I'll take that.
Well, there you go. Congratulations. We didn't have a pick, so we can't share the same joy as you. How's it feel to be back on the late night here, Nate? I know you had your run. We introduced it for you.
Yeah, shout out JVR, the original guest on Nate at Night, Barstool at Night. That was back in, I want to say, December. God, whenever we moved to New York, maybe not December, sorry. We moved to New York, and then like a month later, we were told Facebook is the future. Like, everything we do is going to be on Facebook, Facebook Live, Facebook video, everything. That's when like Fox Sports and CBS fired every single employee, and they're like, we're pivoting to video. Everything's on Facebook. As it turns out, Facebook was just lying to everybody about the numbers. They're like, yeah, your video has 7 million views, and it was really like 950. And so luckily, Barstool also hosted everything on our own site, and we didn't get murdered by Facebook the same way like Funny or Die, Fox Sports, College Humor, every other site that does a ton of video does. But so I started Nate at Night. I was like, this is going to be a fun late night show where we'll just like talk about whatever's going on. I did one show, and Dave shat all over it. He just took a steaming pile dump all over it and said, you're never doing that again. And it feels good 5 years later to be back.
It felt right, Nate. We had to bring you back. Also, Carl, I do apologize. I made it one show in the shirt and tie. I didn't mean to leave you hanging, but
no apology necessary, Ed. I'm loyal to the commitment I made. I'm going to be a formal guy. If we're at night, I just think that's like the concept late at night. Like, I want you guys to know I've been working all day. I'm still polished. I'm ready to go. I got my takes. We did our prep. I'm pumped to have Nate on.
Let's get into it. Carl, you have shirts and ties because you had a real job. So, like, you have to wear those clothes at some point anyway.
That's right. They do stay in my closet, and it's a nice check for me to make sure that, like, I'm not getting too fat in my Barstool job. Like, that's a huge red flag when you get hired by Barstool. Get ready for 20, 25 pounds right away. So every now and then I'll just slip into the business casual, throw a suit on, make sure the slacks still fit, because that's just kind of like the baseline.
I got rid of mine because I wanted to make sure that I worked hard enough that I would never have to wear like a nice dress shirt to work again. So I had like a real job for 8 months, and then I quit it because I hated it. And I literally, when I got hired by Barstool, about 2-3 months later, I got rid of all my nice clothes that I wore to work. Because one, I hated the job, and it was like I was looking in the closet and just seeing like the ghost of work past, and I couldn't take it. So I got rid of all of them to keep myself focused on being able to wear hoodies to work every day.
Burn the ships. Burn the ships. I think Caesar did that. You get to the coach, burn the ships. We're not leaving. Same thing with the business casual, mate.
And we're later today, obviously, because of the draft show. Pushed us back a little bit. So we're technically like the Corden show. So, like, I don't know. I thought, pajamas would be okay. But regardless here, it is draft night. We did want to talk about some draft topics. So we'll lead off with that. Nate, you brought a good idea to the table. Who is one guy that you were just convinced was going to be a stud and ended up being a huge bust? Carl, we'll start with you.
This one's unfortunate. I got to stay true to my heart. I know he's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Cedric Benson. But you have to understand that when the Bears drafted you and built around you and got rid of Thomas Jones, they were getting rid of one of the most reliable running backs at the time. As a young fan that had seen nothing but the Bears like achieve success through my young adulthood with the Cedric Benson move, I had no choice but to be confident in the Bears and loyal. Like I had no choice up until then to be like, oh, this is a bad decision. So I was like all in on Cedric Benson. And then the injuries, and it didn't help that Thomas Jones was just fucking killing it every single year, like with the Jets and all that stuff. So Cedric Benson, that's by far my runaway number one. But as a Bears fan, we do have a lot of choices. That's for sure.
Nate?
So my brother went to Clemson, and he was there when C.J. Spiller was there. And I had never seen a running back. I mean, Reggie Bush, but Reggie Bush is in a league of his own. CJ Spiller, because Reggie Bush was like small and shifty. He was almost like a Peter Warrick, where you weren't sure if the game was going to move to the NFL. I thought CJ Spiller was a sure thing. I was like, this is Barry Sanders with more size. This is the best running back I think I will ever see. And so he gets drafted by the Bills, and he ends up like backing up like Fred Jackson for a few years, and he never gets anything going. And I think he ended up, I don't even know. Did he go to the Browns for a hot minute or something? He never did anything.
Seahawks for a hot minute, I believe.
Yeah, and I would go back in time, and if there was a futures bet that I could put on CJ Spiller being, like a 10-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, giving like his Canton speech, I would put all my money on it. I thought
Don't do it.
I can't. I do say though, if go back in time and the Bills don't take him, someone else takes him, he's in a different situation, I think he's a fucking stud. I think a lot of football is variance, where you just end up and the situation you're put in. I think Spiller was on the downside of that variance.
That's a good point. So CJ Spiller and Cedric Benson. I got two, so I'm kind of cheating here. My first one is Robert Gallery, number 2 overall from Iowa.
He didn't allow a sack.
Went to the Raiders. But he was known. Yes, he was known as like, he just looked the part too. You know what I mean? He just looked like a mean motherfucker. Yeah. Nobody, you drafted him as like, oh, that guy's going to be good for years, and he was just never turned out to be that. My second one is the same one, Cedric Benson draft. I wanted the Bears so bad to draft Mike Williams out of USC.
Williams, the Bills, right?
No, the wide receiver from USC.
He sat out his junior year, if I remember correctly, right? Mm-hmm. And he has the one catch where he plucks it out of the back of the end zone.
Yep, you got it exactly. There was so much hype around him because he was in the appeal against the NCAA. Bears needed a wideout so bad in those years because their quarterback stunk. So I was like, this is it. We took Benson instead. It turns out Mike Williams sucked too, so I guess it wasn't too bad. But
yeah, I mean,
those were my two guys.
The Lions did Charles Rogers, also rest in peace, and then Mike Williams. It's hard to miss, and I don't think it's even their fault, man. Like, those were two of the best college wide receivers we've ever seen.
And they did Roy Williams as well, Nate. Don't forget about him.
He was okay, right?
He started okay, and then he flamed out pretty quickly. The Bears signed him later on, and he stunk too.
That's why the draft is kind of a joke. It's like, how do you expect like those wide receivers to none of them pan out? They look like can't miss guys. They didn't drop balls. They were super athletic, big guys, and
yeah, it was wild. But okay, we'll move it on here. There's some draft talk. Moving on to a couple big blogs so far this week. The first big blog that we wanted to cover was about a skate park in California. They took an excavator to it. They moved a bunch of sand in the middle of it so no one can use it. It turns out that people brought dirt bikes in. They ended up using it anyways. Nate, what do you got on this topic?
They forgot out in Cali that if you're a skateboarder, you also have like a really cool bike too. And let me tell you a sad story. We had a skate park open up where I grew up in Howard County, Maryland. And all I wanted was one of those bikes with the pegs on the back so I could do really cool tricks at the skate park. And I was never allowed to have one. And then that same summer, my brother broke his wrist at that skate park, his first time going down the half pipe. and I never got one of those bikes. But back to the topic, Californians had to know that you can, the skateboarders are going to adapt. These are Cali kids. They have the blonde hair, go like that all the time. They're going to figure it out. So I feel like the guy who made the decision to bring in the dirt, he was like, yeah, I should have seen that coming.
Yeah, just a error move. Carl?
Yeah, I credit though to the police using your environment like that. Nobody likes sand. So I think if you're trying to make a decision in the moment, it's like, we can just put a ton of sand here. Everybody hates sand. We got all the sand right here. I don't like the fact that all these public employees are just being disrespected. It's particularly our nature is like Chicago guys. We hate that. Like, you just respect it if they're like, hey, don't fucking come here. I do have a question though, if someone can answer this. What happens to skateboarders when they mature? Like, what happens? What do these people turn into? Do they like work at Circuit City, take lunch off in the alley? I don't know what happens to skateboarders after you hit maturation. Like, you shouldn't be. Are you a valuing member?
What's the over/under number of Circuit Cities still open right now?
Adam, I'm going to pass that to you.
I think they had like a comeback actually, so I don't know how many are still open, but I don't know. I'd say Guitar Center is a good bet, but
PacSun at the mall, Zoom.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of jobs, that. No, I think they're just skateboarders for life. They make videos and they just hope on hitting it big. It's like being a 45-year-old band member. They love the sport and that's just what they do. Definitely. I will say, about this whole move, about they put the sand there. Did they think about how they were going to get it out? Because that was going to be a motherfucker in the first place, right? It's like playing a game of 52 card pickup. When you got the deck and you're just spraying it all around, you feel like the man. But then you got to get down there. Maybe the floor's a little wet, and you got to pick it up. Hopefully your nail's long enough, one by one. It's always a terrible idea. So I don't know why it was ill cited in the first hand. So I don't know why
they do. They tell the skateboarders, get the sand out. They're like, if you want to skate again, it's up to you guys. Go get it out.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess maybe that's what they do. Our second topic here for the day, a big blog this week, was about Hulk Hogan. He was under fire because he took a picture on a beach. Everyone's saying, what are you doing, Hulk? Like, everyone's mad at the people in Florida about the beaches. Hulk goes, take it easy, brother. This is my private fucking beach. Everyone needs to get off their high horses here. Nate, big wrestling guy. What do you think about the Hulkster and his beach?
It's the biggest flex to say this is my beach. Like, I can do what I want. I think that's everybody's dream. I knew you could have a private beach, but this kind of hammered the point home. Like, literally, he has his own private beach that nobody's allowed on, and that has to be one of the coolest feelings. Like, I'm just imagining people to that side, and then him doing whatever he wants in the middle, and nobody can stop him. It seems like it's like a no-law zone. Like, you own a beach, the laws of either side don't attain to you. You can just run rapid, do drugs, break laws. It's your beach.
Do whatever.
And do we know if he used the proceeds from the Deadspin Gawker lawsuit to buy the beach? Because if that's the case, the internet should know by now. You just don't fucking come at Hulk Hogan. Surprise, surprise, Hulk Hogan owns the beach and everybody's wrong. It's just Hulk Hogan. Leave him alone. Follow-up question. When is the Hulk Hogan 10-part mini doc coming? I need that. The next time I want Hulk Hogan in my life is because it's going to be the best documentary after this MJ doc.
Yeah,
I would like that.
Man.
I mean, there's been a lot in his life, a lot of bad, a lot of good. So that would actually be a really good doc. I will say really quick, if you could name me one name, who is most likely to be out there in Jacksonville yucking it up with 1 million people on the beach right now? Which former wrestler? Nate?
Which former wrestler? I just said Flair, so now that name's in my head. Scott Steiner, is he still alive?
I like that
question.
Is Big Papa Pump still with us?
I think so.
Buff Bagwell or the Godfather.
Let me submit this answer, and I got to get my computer charger. I apologize. This is so unprofessional, but my answer is if he's still alive, Razor Ramon. That's a slam dunk.
That was mine. Mine.
I mean, you and I are on the same page there,
yes.
right? Razor Ramon with the toothpick.
Val Venus.
Can we get a 15-second commercial?
Yeah, go grab the charger. I'll just sit here and talk with Nate. Nate, there you go. That was my pick. Was Razor Ramon.
I mean, Val Venus might be the biggest ripoff of Razor Ramon, but I didn't even realize growing up what a hoe train was with The Godfather, and that Val Venus, his character, was a porn star. But imagine them trying to get away with like, it's time once again for everybody to come aboard the hoe train.
It was a different era, Nate. It was a different era.
Fun, man.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get to our final blog here for the top 3 blog section, 3 big blogs. Kate Beckinsale, Nate, Gay Pat blogged this. She's mad at the haters. Now she's dating a 22-year-old emo boyfriend. Nate, given the right circumstances, do you feel like Nate Dogg has a chance here?
With Kate?
Yes.
Brother. No, the answer is no. I don't know. I was taken off guard by that question. Kate Beckinsale is an angel on earth, and she knows it, and that's why she claps back like this. She's like, I'm Kate Beckinsale. Like, I can do whatever I want. Her 22-year-old boyfriend, like, seems fine, right? Like, she's doing what everybody would do in her situation, and she's not shy about it. I see nothing wrong with anything she does.
See, I will say, Nate, though, if we get juice you up, get you on Prez's Instagram a little bit, I think, some content guys could be in the game here.
Dude, his Instagram, when he unboxes, the entire chat is just like,
that's what I'm saying.
Hot chicks that are like, unbox me, daddy. I'm like, whoa.
That's what I'm saying, Nate. We'll get you on there. I think you got a shot. But that was the Beckinsale question. We'll move it on to 3 big videos so far this week. We'll kick it off with Matt Leinart and Coach Doug's. Can we roll the tape?
Hello, college football fans. Thanks for being with us once again. I'm Cliff Calhoun, and the college football world was shaken up in a big way last night by a big man. It was Gus Duggerton. Made his decision to go from Florida State after spending only 1 year as the offensive coordinator there and taking his talents out to the West Coast and USC. Who better to bring in to discuss this move than USC legend himself, Heisman Trophy winner Matt Leinart.
Yeah, thanks, Cliff. Thanks for having me on. My initial thoughts and reaction were just, excited. I do have some reservations. I mean, this is a guy who likes to jump ship. He doesn't stay in a place too long, and that makes me a little nervous. But I just think sometimes opportunities are too hard to pass up. So I am excited about the thoughts of him being a coordinator and scoring all these points. I think that's what he does best. And I know once he gets out here, he's going to love being at USC.
There we go. Coach Doug's hot start. Good games this week out of, I believe they're 2-0. Great to see Matt Leinart. He was a legend, I think, for us when we were kind of growing up there at USC. Classic battles against Vince Young in Texas. I got to ask, who do you think of, besides Leinart and Reggie Bush, who do you guys think of as like a USC legend? Like you really enjoyed watching them when they were coming up. Carl, we'll start with you.
I have 2. The first is the king of steroids. That's Brian Cushing. He's the most roided out college player of my generation, certainly in the NFL and in college days. Randomly have a buddy who's from his area in New Jersey, and the legends of him as like a junior in high school, bench pressing 375 pounds and just like causing massive concussions on a grand scale week in, week out. Loved watching Brian Cushing crack skulls. Also of note, Brian Cushing started as a true freshman in the Vince Young national championship game. So that's how good Brian Cushing was coming in as a true freshman from New Jersey, starting on those USC teams. Second name, Ed, I'm going to pull a little Eddie here. I'm going to do a double dip. John David Booty. I know he only started 1 year. That was a great Rose Bowl quarterback. He beat my Illinois team 49-17. I witnessed every single fucking point. John David Booty. Fuck him.
Good picks.
Respect,
Nate?
though.
I don't want to be so. Growing up, you know how you just have like a team that you cling to when you're a child, besides like your real team. So I'm like a Redskins fan, but my high school's colors were orange and black. And when I was in like 6th grade at the middle school for that high school, when you start paying attention to football and stuff like that, it was during like Kurt Warner, greatest show on turf era. I really liked the Bengals helmets and colors, and I became a Bengals fan in like 6th grade, and I loved Carson Palmer, and I think he would have had a extremely good career. He sat behind John Kitna his first season, came in, was great, or he was okay his first year, great his second year, and then the dude on the Steelers, Timo von Oelhoffen, just wrecked his ACL and MCL in that playoff game, and he never really fully recovered. But I love Carson Palmer.
That's a good one too. I got to go with Matt Barkley, actually. Okay, because
Really?
Matt Barkley started as a true freshman.
Yep.
He's the same age as me, so I was a freshman in college. The same year he was a freshman in college, and it's one of those things. You see that guy, you're like, holy fuck, that guy's my age. I'm sitting in my dorm room, being a fucking bum, and that guy's out there on the national stage, starting for USA. Went to Mater Day, same spot as Leinart. He had a lot of hype actually, and he ended up doing pretty decent for them. Didn't do shit in the NFL, but Matt Barkley and Mike Williams is the other one, but
yeah,
those are the two. Moving on to some real football, actually, the NFL, big news. Gronk is joining the Bucs. We had an emergency press conference from Prez. Can we roll the tape on that, please?
All right, emergency press conference. The news, Gronk going to the Bucs. Pat's trading Gronk as 7th-round pick for a 4th-round pick. I don't know. Going to join up with Brady. Like Patriots South, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Am I upset? Am I rattled? Not really. I mean, Gronk wasn't coming back to the Pats, clearly. He wants to go play in Tampa, fine. I think he has a house there. Well, I am rooting for the Bucs. I like Gronk. I obviously love Brady. There's something about this, that this brain, it's like, okay, it doesn't work like this. It never works. It never works when you take players who are Hall of Famers, dynasty guys, you just pick up, it's like, all right, we're going to go from New England to Tampa and recreate it. It just does not work that way, ever.
Okay, there's El Presidente. Nate, we got to know, do you feel bad about the situation? Are you hurting for Patriots fans right now?
Good question, Eddie. No, I'm not hurting for Pats fans right now. I was curious to see how Dave was going to spin this. If he was going to be honest and be like, I'm upset. It sucks that we lost Brady and Gronk, the two faces of the last decade of not just, Barstool or Dave's life, but kind of the NFL. And now they're both down in Tampa. I mean, obviously he's not happy about it. I don't think without Gronk and Brady in the Pats, Barstool is what Barstool is. Their Super Bowls, and Belichick obviously too, but Dave's trying to spin it now that Tampa has like two old fogies who aren't going to do anything. 6 months ago, he was saying Brady's 100% coming back and we're going to win the next Super Bowl. Gronk's going to unretire week 14 or whatever that was, and he's going to play in the Super Bowl. So obviously he's doing Dave stuff and spinning it, which he has to do. I get it. But he's not happy. He's hurting. I'm not hurting for him. They had a great run. They had the best run in professional sports history. And they're not going to win a Super Bowl in Tampa. They're just, without Belichick, people were leaving New England because they just don't want to be under his thumb anymore. If you want to win a championship, you can stay in New England. If you want to have some freedom and happiness, you go to Tampa. But no, I don't. Dave will be fine. I'm not going to hurt for him.
Carl, you hurting for them?
Yeah, obviously I'm not hurting for any of them. I look at that video, Dave Portnoy, and I know El Prez has made a fortune on one particular ability, and that's to read between the lines. He's able to see a situation, but really interpret it. Like you can't fucking fool that guy. I hate to do it to him, but I'm going to read between the lines looking at that video. Whatever he's saying, that's not the sound or the look of a man who believes it. Like I hear the words that are coming out of his mouth, and I understand the logic that he puts behind the argument that they're old, the Patriots are going to be better and all that stuff. But purely from a delivery standpoint, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. He looks defeated. He looks broken.
He does. He certainly does. Moving on to our last topic here before we get into the trivia section. Are you smarter than White Sox? Dave, Nate, that's going to be a tough challenge here. We'll get to the Las Vegas mayor. She had some interesting comments at CNN. Let's roll the tape.
Every one of those lives is a tragic loss. But when you count 150 versus 2.3 million, you have to say, we have to open up. We have to go back. Our bus drivers, our
But hasn't it been
cleaners,
because of
our
social
restaurants.
distancing that the numbers have been what they are?
How do you know until we have a control group? We offer to be a control group. Anybody who knows anything about statistics knows that, for instance, you have a vaccine.
You're
you
offering
give the real
citizens of Las Vegas to be a control group to see if your theory on social distancing works or doesn't work.
Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Don't put words in my mouth.
You just said we'll be a control group.
Excuse me.
There we go. The Las Vegas mayor. Three Vegas guys here. I know Carl's a big Vegas guy. Nate, obviously, I know you are. Carl, you in an itch to get back? What do you think about that whole thing?
I'm in an itch to get back there and run for office. I feel like Vegas is prime for the taking if that's her leadership. Listen, I don't care what side of the aisle she sits on. I just feel like local politics at every single level, you're just crazy. Like, you just have to be a crazy person to be in this position. And by the way, if you're the mayor of Las Vegas, can we be fucking clear on one thing? You have to be the most bought mayor. Like, whether or not you actually accept the money, the amount of money that has to come your way as the Vegas mayor has to be absolutely preposterous. I'm out on this lady, but I'm so kind of in on her, if that makes sense.
Well, Carl, I have great news for you. Your hypothesis is 100% correct. She is the mayor because her husband is the ex-mayor, and he was the lawyer for every mobster to ever set foot in Vegas. He could do the next term, so she ran for mayor as, literally as his proxy, and now she's the mayor. Like, Vegas is still run by the mob, and that's why she wants the casinos to open. She's like, we're losing money. Like, yeah, she's bought by every casino. She's losing millions of dollars by these casinos being shut. So that's why she's trying to open it. She's a crazy person. She's connected to the mob. She has no idea what she's talking about. She might have not even have won the election. It's Vegas. Like, Vegas is one of the last places on earth that doesn't operate the rest. Like, voting doesn't matter there.
Very interesting allegations here.
He's probably going to be the next mayor, and we don't even know how. Like, you do a little Wikipedia and start reading the linked article. It's incredible. Her life is incredible.
Very interesting allegations here by Nate Dogg. Nate, that's all alleged. We don't want to be canceled before episode 3, but we thank you for your input and your ear, your ear to the ground, obviously. At this point, we're ready for Are You Smarter Than White Sox Dave? So we'll swap out Carl for Chief and White Sox Dave. Chief will be the host here. You'll be asked 5 trivia questions, and we'll see if you can do it. Do you feel good, Nate?
Yes, I was gonna say something mean, but yes, I feel good.
Okay, so now
this is the time to say something mean because there's a lot of pressure here to be smarter than White Sox Dave. You're kind of built up as a smart guy. You're going up against Dave. He's got a little bit different reputation, undeserved reputation. I feel like you should be a little nervous here.
And let's get one thing straight as well. Both people will have to close their eyes when they answer because there was a little bit of a cheating gate earlier with Brandon Walker and Smitty. We don't want the show to be a dirty show. So
real quick, where do you fall on that?
I don't know. It's impossible to know because the chat's right here. Nobody ever knows. So eyes closed.
No chat.
Chief, you have the floor to run the trivia.
All right. Can we give Dave a mic check because it wasn't working there? No mic. It's gonna be hard for him to get questions right with no mic.
Check.
All right, you're in.
All right, there we go. So Nate, you don't have any headphones at all, huh?
My Bose ones got stolen.
All right. So honor system, the way we've been doing is that Dave goes first, so then he can't cheat. So if you can put it on mute so you don't hear the answers, the questions, and no Google, we'll just take it from there.
All right. Muting in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Dave, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I feel like there's some crossover with you and Nate. So this is going to be hotly contested. I tried to make them easier since that was the big criticism from last time.
Okay.
First one, this is whoever gets closer. Rex Grossman tied a career high for interceptions in 2011. How many did he throw?
In 2011, I'm going to say 20.
Okay. Question number 2. What year did Blink-182's debut album Cheshire Cat come out?
1996.
Okay, that was a Who Gets It Closer one as well. You're a big Tom Hanks guy. You're the foremost authority on Tom Hanks on the internet. What movie did Tom Hanks get his first Oscar nomination for?
Sleepless in Seattle?
Okay, we'll just leave it open-ended here, I guess. You're a World War II guy. You fall asleep watching all the docs. Which country lost the most lives during World War II?
Russia. Oh, Russia. Yeah, Russia.
Okay. Who picked the location for Washington, D.C.?
I'm gonna say George Washington, but I know I want to say something else. But I'm gonna say George Washington because my other answer is kind of out of left field, and it would either be like a pretty good guess or so wrong that you guys would rip on me. So I'm just gonna say George Washington.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. We'll reveal your results later here, I guess. So
all right,
we'll let Nate come back on if he's kicked out or whatever.
There.
Welcome back, Nate.
All right.
Welcome back. All right. Are you ready?
Can I ask how he did or no?
He actually did very well.
Okay.
So this is much better than last time. I didn't think that, Ed, I mean, how were the questions this time, would you say, compared to last time?
Good. A lot better.
A lot better.
I have my browser off. I can't see the chat. We're positive he wasn't looking?
Yeah, I don't think it's possible, no.
Okay.
And I'm looking through the chat. I don't see anybody putting the answers in there.
Okay, cool.
All right. So this is just whoever gets closest for this first question.
Price is right?
What's that?
Closest without going over?
No, not Price is Right. That'd be too hard.
Okay.
So Rex Grossman tied a career high for interceptions in a season in 2011. How many did he throw?
Tied what?
His own career record, his own career high.
Washington Redskin, great. Rex
and
great.
Chicago Bear, great.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
So one year he has his career high was 1 year with the Skins and 1 year with the Bears.
23.
Okay. All right. Next question. It's tailored just for you. We'll see if you get it. What year did Blink-182's debut studio album Cheshire Cat come out?
Cheshire Cat. So it was just the 20th anniversary of Enema of the State. That was in 2019. That came out in 1999. Dude Ranch would have come out in 97. So I'm going to say Cheshire Cat came out in, it's 95 or 96. I feel like I haven't seen 25th anniversary. So 96.
Okay. Third question. What movie did Tom Hanks get his first Oscar nomination for?
Oh, I hate that the first movie that came to my mind was Big. That's such a ridiculous movie to get nominated for, but that sounds so right. Philadelphia, perhaps?
Final answer?
No. Is it possible he was nominated for fucking Big?
I mean, anything's possible, Nate.
Anything's... Fuck. That can't be real. There's no way he was nominated for Big. Philadelphia.
Okay. Our final answer.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a World War II question here. Which country suffered the most lives lost in World War II?
Damn. Phew. I literally have no idea.
I mean, it's like basically multiple choice. You know, there's like 4 or 5 countries that fought.
That count Japan?
Yeah, it counts anybody who fought in the war.
I guess, yeah. It's going to be like Sweden. Japan.
Okay.
I really...
all right, and then this one's kind of for you as well, Nate. Who picked the location for Washington, D.C.?
Ooh. The gut instinct wants to say Ben Franklin because that guy kind of did everything.
Mm-hmm.
But that sounds a little too obvious. And plus, he would have gone Philadelphia because he's a Philly guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe TJ? When did it become the capital? Like 83? So maybe TJ? He was the first guy to live in the White House, right? It's Jefferson.
I think it was either Jefferson or Adams were the first ones to live there. Yeah.
Did Adams end up living there? Fuck them. I'm going to say Jefferson.
Jefferson. Okay. All right. Can we bring Dave back on?
All right.
Were you listening?
Yeah, I was listening.
Dave.
I couldn't speak though. Yeah.
Dave, we got news for you.
Uh-oh.
You are officially smarter than Nate.
Damn.
Smarter than Nate. So
I was
the
gonna
Rex
say
Gross.
Jefferson too.
Okay, so it was actually George Washington. So you got that
Okay.
one. You got the U.S. You got it was Washington. He was a land surveyor, so he
He
figured it out.
named it after himself?
If I recall correctly.
No,
the
I don't know if he
reason-
named it, but I think he died, and they were like, "We'll make it Washington."
The
And,
reason that they put DC where DC was is because it was smack dab in the middle, like north, south, east, west of the 13 original colonies.
Yep.
And there was talks they were going to move it to Kansas City, I remember, because that was like the central
whole
location
country.
of the whole country once there was like a contiguous 48 states.
You got the Rex Grossman interception number on the button. It was 20.
I remember that, yeah.
What is it?
I remember it was 20 on the Bears, yeah.
Cheshire Cat came out in 1995. So you guys both guessed 96, so you're same on that.
I remember, yeah.
Tom Hanks, Nate, you're gonna kill yourself. It was Big. He was nominated for Big. It was his first Oscar nomination.
What year was Big?
I don't know what year it was, but that was Tom Hanks' first. It was like 80s.
Yeah, Sleepless in Seattle was like 88, I want to say, right?
Yeah. And then
88 was Big.
Dave, you got the World War II question as well. So USSR. So Dave, Dave, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, Dave. The only one you missed was the Blink 182 question. You missed it by 1 year.
Yeah, I knew it was because I knew I was gonna say 98 was Enema of the State, and I knew it was before that, so I guess 96.
Big W on the board for WSD.
How do you feel, Nate?
I don't feel like
I feel like this is bad for your brand.
No, because one, that's rude to Dave, but two, I don't think I performed poorly.
You didn't.
No.
Damn, I said, Dave, you were listening. I said Big 1,000 times.
You did.
Then I switched to the AIDS movie. I was like, fuck it. Like
something more profound than Big.
I knew something in my brain was like, it's big, it's big, it's big. But imagine if I'm the guy who was like, yeah, big. That just doesn't sound right.
I'm with you. I never would have guessed Big in a million billion years, but it's fucking big.
I had You Got Mail.
That
wouldn't
have been a bad guess.
Yeah, I would have been very wrong. But regardless,
Tom Hanks movie.
He said Sleepless in Seattle.
Is your favorite?
No.
Oh no, that's what he said was the Oscar nominee.
Tough to argue with Gump.
You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go Forrest Gump. I think.
Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. Yeah.
Castaway.
Yeah.
Castaway.
League of Their Own. League of Their Own is a fucking great movie.
I can't stand
What?
it.
Why don't you like League of Their Own?
It's just it bores me.
No. You guys are just sexist assholes.
Road to
That's a great
Perdition.
movie.
A lot of it was filmed in your hometown, kind
Sure
of
was.
Geneva.
St. Charles, Geneva. Yep.
Big's awesome too.
Big is awesome. So
But Nate, don't feel too bad. I plan on ruining a lot of reputations around here in this game.
By the way, I don't know where I got the reputation of a smart guy came from, but I'll take it.
I think you're respected as a pretty smart guy around the company.
Oh, no. Hey, you know
pretty
what?
sharp.
Yeah.
As an outsider's opinion out here in Chicago, I'd say you're a pretty sharp guy. But maybe now, I don't know, not because 0-1 in trivia.
Know Rex Grossman's interception number. So
I don't know how did you really did just remember that, Dave?
I knew it was 20 for the Bears because he started off that season. It was 2005, 2006 on fucking fire, and he was lighting it up like 350-yard games, 3 touchdowns. And everyone's like, we finally got our quarterback. And then after that, just went straight to shit.
Yeah.
Wait, he went to the Super Bowl 06-07?
05-06.
05-06.
It's probably the best year in like Chicago sports history, to be honest. Bears, Illini, and White Sox.
Yeah. Well, all right, Dave, you're officially 1-1. Nate, I apologize for the loss, but thanks you for joining us. We're glad to help you, be on our show for your second episode of Barstool, the late night show. So
I'll see you guys in like 5.5 years, I guess.
Exactly 5.5 years for Barstool Chicago. We are out. Thanks everybody for watching.
Love you guys.
Later, Nate.
Thanks, Nate.